Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of BangCulture Podcast. I'm Alex. This is Jake,
Hey,
and over there is Mike.
you.
And today we are going to be trying this again, as this is the third attempt at a podcast for the Sony conference. We're just gonna run through everything because we've tried so many times to get it working right. We're gonna run through what they did, what we liked about it, what we didn't like, and try to give like an overarching idea of what we think about the next console gen. And we're gonna jump into what we've been doing, which is almost a month now, I think, right?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah,
Close to.
yeah. Last week,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah, we weren't able to get around to it, and I tried editing what was the mingled mess of audio from our second attempt. So that didn't happen, but here now. Let me think. What have I been doing? I'll go with some of the other stuff. Some stuff I kind of forgot from our other try and whatnot. I oh, so I did play the first level, basically the first level and a bit more of Mass Effect Andromeda, which
Hmm.
honestly I thought was really good. I thought that was actually framed really well, like a lot of the story beats and stuff, where you're on this new planet that you are unsure about after taking some ship damage and stuff. And in that area where you're kind of just like scattered around, your team is scattered around. There's like lightning going on everywhere and like enemies that you aren't exactly sure are hostile at the beginning, but like really quickly you know they're hostile. But like the tension in that place was like super good. I really enjoyed it for like the start of a game that you're not 100% sure about. Like, and you're not Shepard, so unlike on 3 where I'm just like, I'm Shepard, I'm just gonna go and beat everybody up. I'm just like, I am just some random guy who well, not really just some random guy. You are the child of the ship's captain, basically. Or not, it's not the ship
The
captain,
the
the
Pathfinder. The
pathfinder, which
Pathfinder
is
is his
the
rank. Yeah.
navigator of sorts, I guess.
Hmm.
Is that what it?
I'm supposed to remember. That's been so long. So he's like the one who's in charge of like
Where to go? Or
going forth and yeah, like actually claiming areas,
yeah,
making them safe for other people to then go to.
yeah. So yeah, so you're the child of them, and because there is a ship captain as well who is a different person. Because I remember that after saying that. But so you do have some importance, but you're not like the guy. So uh, that was that helped the atmosphere to it. And it was actually really interesting. I'm not exactly sure how much I like it thinking back on it, but you actually find your father, who's a pathfinder, and he just kind of like slams into everything and doesn't give a fuck. It's kind of interesting, and it was really nice in during my playthrough because I was always trying to catch up to him a lot of the times when in the fighting section with him. I always try to catch up with him, and I'm like, it's really awesome to know that there is someone that is just gonna like, be the bullet sponge for me basically because he just didn't take damage. I guess he was like level if I remember correctly, because he actually uses a lot of powers that you get in one of the trees, one of the ability trees. So it's like you could actually think about what level he is, which is funny. So I thought that was really cool. It was like kind of inspiring in a way, and I'm like, yeah, that's how this should feel. That's how what he's supposed to do. So it was really cool to me. But yeah, for the parts that everybody had problems about with the facial rigging basically and animation, they because they patched it out actually really soon after launch, and I didn't see too much problems with that. My problem personally was whoever the model must have been, or whatever kind of like the rigging for it was, or not the rigging, the model for it. Their faces look too like a lot of times too large in the wrong areas.
Huh.
Like, I feel like a lot of the character models, their like jaws were really big, and it might have been to like accommodate for some of that weirdness, or the for the mouth animations and stuff. I wasn't sure, but that's how I felt for a lot of it. Like the model was kind of off, and it was slightly uncanny than animation.
Or unnerving.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, so I think that's what it actually is, and everybody was not communicating that well. But, or actually, in the beginning, they're right, because I did see some of that, and I do remember like, yeah, that is very weird. But I still think it's a little.
Yeah, there were definitely some definite issues at first.
Yeah. So I'm fine with it now. After that animation patch, for sure. I've only gotten to the ship sections before and after that mission, though. I don't know how much it bugs out with other characters, but the main characters that people were having arguments about when it launched, I remember, didn't have those problems. So I want to play more. I haven't played past that point since back when, but I do want to go back to it. It seems like it will be fun, but yeah. What else have I've been watching more Gravity Falls, little bits here and there, not as much. I've been watching I've been watching a lot of game industry news and a lot of Monster Train videos, and been playing some of that actually as well. I've been getting closer to Covenant 10, which is like the first milestone I feel is for that game with its Ascension ranks or Covenant ranks. For because each covenant is a new challenge, that's a little modifier that's added to your runs. So
like the Ascension ranks in Slave Spire.
Exactly. And so from what I've heard from watching some other people on YouTube talk about it, it's like that's for the first real big milestone. So I'm looking forward to that. I've been trying to play it every Monday on stream over on Twitch, but yeah, I haven't been getting too far because it's only like a couple hours I'll play. But yeah, other than that from before, I've been playing more actually with Jake. I've been playing more Dead by Daylight, which I got forever ago and played it a few rounds and just kind of dropped it for a while. When we first started playing, I was actually like super shaking, by the way, for most of it. Like it was super.
Yeah, the first few games are really. It really does a good job of setting like the atmosphere and like the situation where it's like really scary. The killer is like really terrifying. Mm-hmm. But as you get to understand the game more, like it kind of loses some of that as you become more familiar with how the systems actually work.
Yeah. It still holds though a sense of like, because even now I'm still like I don't want to lose stuff, like essentially, because like before even it's not really that I was worried. I was just worried about doing things wrong that I feel like I should, like hopefully if I could do the mechanics I wouldn't fail them as much. So I was mostly worried about failing checks and stuff like that. I still have that problem where I'm like, I know something is bad's gonna happen when I fail this check if I do. So, but like when I'm running away, I have a bit more understanding of like how to stop them some of the times. Mm-hmm. But the other issue I have regardless in any system in any game is I'm bad at maps. So I like don't know exactly where I'm going. I'm getting better at talking about directions and stuff because I'm also historically bad at saying which direction to go or something. I'm getting left and right switched. But I've been getting better at doing that in general. I've been trying to talk more out these kinds of things, especially when I play more multiplayer games. It makes it more, I guess, doable or important. So I actually do it. Mm-hmm. So that's been nice, and that's been helping me with those kinds of problems.
Gotta play more Valorant sometime. Get your Valorant callouts.
Yeah. I was doing pretty good with that. That's one of the things I really like about it is being able to help out, notice things, and call out objectives and stuff like that, even when I'm dead.
Yeah, the system and like people have developed like a nice system in Valorant where a lot of locations have names or like there's general like names for types of locations, and so instead of just saying like to the left, you can call out like the actual spot that like everyone has agreed that's what it's called.
Yeah, there's a
Or they're
terminology.
coming through showers, or they're coming, down long, or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Also the zones, like just attacking A or B or C, depending on the map that you're on. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's well, been a thing before this, but I remember doing that a lot in Team Fortress 2 because I played a ton of that back when, and yeah, it's kind of that feel that I've been missing is like a capture point shooter.
That's fair.
Yeah, I honestly think that it kind of fills that role very nicely.
Yeah.
It feels more. Everybody compares it to like Overwatch,
Yeah,
but I'm like, it feels more like TF2 because
But-
you and I talked about this for a while ago.
yeah,
But like the quote unquote abilities feel more like a small gimmick, and what really matters is the gunplay. So like, I don't know. It's like certain abilities seem kind of overpowered. Like Phoenix is pretty strong with his ultimate, and then there's the other chick who goes invincible for a little bit. I forget who that is.
I haven't
I
played too
don't
many.
think
So.
no one should go invincible.
Oh, what was it?
Reyna can go invisible.
Maybe that's what it was. I might have been it wrong.
Fair, I guess. Yeah, close. But yeah, well, when you think about it, even with the hero shooter formula, it all actually stems from very much so stems from Team Fortress 2, down from small abilities like revving up for heavy or Pyro's ult shot being air bursts or superpower. Like, because I know one of the abilities that what a specific Pyro gun did was either invincibility or auto crits for a short time.
Oh yeah, it was auto crit.
Yeah, because
it got rid of the air burst.
Yeah, but you didn't have air burst, so you couldn't stop rockets. So or put out fire. But yeah, I like decimate people. But these are all like minor abilities that were on them, kind of like the abilities for that. And also with like even the economy, loot boxes and shit that originated heavily in Team Fortress 2 and CS:GO.
Luckily, so far, Valorant doesn't have loot boxes.
Yeah, well, yeah, because but moving that from over into Overwatch.
Yeah.
Being the second one out, and then they were like, no loot boxes, a little bit. I don't know if there's more
expensive monetization.
Yeah, expensive monetization. No loot boxes. Yeah.
Christ, those skins are not worth that.
$9 for a one gun skin. Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous. Yeah, but yeah, because there. I feel, is there more emphasis on abilities you'd say in Valorant or Overwatch? Because I know you have to buy them, so they're kind of limited use, but you're more thinking about your use of them. I feel in that sense.
I'd say there's more emphasis on abilities in Overwatch because.
Yeah, I'd say it's more on Overwatch, but like how you use them in Valorant may matter more. I think might kind of the way to talk about it.
Okay.
Because it's such a constant in Overwatch that it's like it feels like part of your weapon set in general. Whereas in Valorant, like the character that you pick is more unique in the situations that they're strong at. For instance, like Viper is extremely good for trying to clear out a point, whereas like if you're looking for flanking or assassinations, you want to go with who's the guy who teleports?
Omen.
Omen, thank you. I was thinking Odin or Oberyn, and I was like, neither of those are right.
Close.
Not in concept, but
if you're trying to like create panic and like pick off the backline, you want to go with Omen. So like their situations and their uses are very niche, and that's probably because there's so few of them as well.
Yeah, I would say because once you get starting too many characters, you'll get some overlap. Is usually the problem.
But then, like, if you use them wrong too, like with, for instance, if you use Phoenix wrong, you can blind yourself and your team instead of just the
That's
enemy,
hilarious.
which is so bad. It's so bad.
Yeah.
Because there's a short blind almost no matter what you do, but it lasts it's a shorter duration, the less direct it was, as far as like the
I think
the flash.
it's 3 seconds or so if you're directly looking at it.
Yeah, and it's like 1.
Yeah, if you're not.
If you're looking away from it, which is still insane if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Like,
It shouldn't flash you at all if you do it right.
I haven't been able to do it right then, at all.
You just pop it around the corner, let it go off, and then you pop around. You shouldn't get blinded.
Oh no! See, I was doing it in the practice arena, and it's all open spaces. So.
Oh yeah, the whole reason you can curve it is because you're supposed to pop it around corners.
Yeah, no, haven't done that at all.
That would explain it.
I haven't spent enough time in it though.
Yeah.
I played literally 1 match.
Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. I don't know if you played it anymore or not.
Nope.
I gotcha. Yeah, we played a handful of games one night.
Probably like 4 or 5, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 5.
I've watched enough of it to kind of get the feel for like how things operate, and then like the one game that I played just showed like the difference in applying it mechanically. It is much harder than it looks. I have never been a shooter. You guys know this about me, but man,
Yeah.
it's so evident when I play that game. I think I got maybe 5 kills in my first game, and I died like 13 times.
Yeah.
I think I tend to average about 13, although I'm getting a little higher now. I'm getting better at like managing recoil and stuff like that.
That's good. I was good at like calling out points or whatever, and like just being an active voice on the team. But I feel like that's the least you can do.
Hey man, some people like, well, especially when you start getting like feeling defeated, you usually stop talking less. So I mean, at least keeping up morale and stuff is still a step.
I think that was easier for me because I didn't expect myself to be good.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, that's something like we try to have to focus on as a team. We usually play in groups of like 3 to 5. And just like making sure we're actually communicating is such a huge difference. It gets so easy just to like get locked in, just trying to run in and like do it. Even if we like run in as a group, if we're not communicating, like the difference in effectiveness is so incredible.
That goes with any game though, like any game where you require coordination,
any teamwork,
it's like Destiny 2 or like League or like anything like that, and in between.
Nope.
Constant communication is what separates teams that synergize well and teams that will fall apart at the drop of a hat.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, how did that Clash match go for you guys did in League a while back?
So we won 2 games out of 6. So yeah,
it's okay.
No,
one of the games we won was a bye. Because the other thing
never mind. Yeah, not to. Yeah, it's just bad then.
The other thing was like, so we one of the games we lost, it was a hyperscaling team versus our mid-game heavy team, and like we were out rotating them, we were controlling them up until like 25 minutes, and then it just started going downhill. And that game lasted 55 minutes. And yeah, there was no coming back from that. They had a Jinx that was massively fed at that point. Even though she was shut down extremely hard in lane. They had a Nasus who I was beating the crap out of in lane. But it didn't matter because he started roaming and getting kills elsewhere.
Yep. Yeah, you have to. Yeah, rotate to.
I tried rotating with him, but then I lost so much more XP than he did. Eventually, he started beating me.
Yep. Yeah, because he actually was there to get the kills and stuff.
Yeah. When you initiate the rotation, you soak up XP first. So
yep, exactly.
Either I had to commit to pushing the lane and being a threat, or I had to try and get ahead of the play. And
sometimes
that wasn't going to happen when we didn't have any mid lane pressure. So
yeah, that's the big thing, is like trying to even if you don't have pressure, just playing it smart enough or safe enough to where it's like you're gonna have enough power like with turrets or whatever, to be able to not just lose, get more advantage.
Yeah, so that was pretty rough. That loss hit me
No,
a little harder than the other ones because that was such a winnable game.
Yeah, you were there, and
yeah, we were both down to Nexus turrets in lane.
yeah,
Well.
wow.
So, like, we took one of their Nexus turrets, but it just didn't matter.
Yeah. That late in the game, like it just when you lose a fight, it's pretty much the game.
Yeah, and especially with
Whoever loses the next fight.
two like really good scaling carries like Nasus and Jinx, like that late game is gonna be super hard.
Yeah, if they get on your towers, the tower's going down.
Yeah. I mean, Nasus can almost one-shot a turret when he's got like 700 stack.
Yeah, almost an hour in.
Yeah.
Fucking, it's ridiculous. But anyway, more on topic. What else have you been playing now?
What else have I been playing? I got Gunfire Reborn, which is kind of fun. It's pretty arcadey. It's just you run through a dungeon basically, just shooting up the place, and the only weird thing about the game is the boss is like nigh impossible. It feels like when you first boot it up. Even if you get to the end, like he's so much stronger than anything else you have fought that it is like the weirdest challenge. It's the weirdest scale, like, because I feel like once you get to the point where you can't even begin to step to him, like you're just crushing everything else. Like I'm not there. I've only played like 2 or 3 rounds, but he's so much stronger than everything else you fight. I feel like it's no contest until that point for a long time.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that because again, I don't even know the next level or whatever. But if they scale the next level to that difficulty and then have that boss be again ridiculously impossible when you first go through a handful of times, like it's gonna be weird. It's
I mean, it's a way to pad out game time.
Yeah, it's like super padded and grindy, and I feel like I could have fun with it enough just running through because one of the things about the game is while going through the dungeon, you have a starter gun, and then you get guns in the level, and then you lose them at the end, basically, or once you die. I'm not sure. Again, I have only died. I've never succeeded the level, but yeah, so that's an interesting way to do it, and I'm not. Yeah, it feels like it's gonna be like really grindy and novel for now, but we'll see. I'll try to remember to come back to it if I play more of it. It seems like I'll play more of it, but yeah. Yeah, because I already talked about Slay the Spire a bit. I think that's probably it for what I've been playing, unless there's something I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
I'm trying to think of anything I know that you've done.
Yeah. I just feel like I haven't been playing much of anything lately.
Yeah, honestly, same. I haven't really played a whole lot in the last week, but since we're going over the last month, I have a few things to talk about.
Did someone cut out, or we're just not talking?
We're not talking.
No, just not talking.
Oh, there was one other thing I want to bring up. There is something I'll say I played. I looked at my Steam library. So I've also been playing Helltaker. I beat Helltaker. I think I skipped or looked up a little bit of some of the last 2 puzzle sections because it goes from puzzle section to basically bullet hell kinda, where you dodge stuff. And that took me like a few hours. There's also some hidden stuff that you do, but that's mostly in the puzzle section. That's all in the puzzle section. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I'm not the biggest fan of puzzle games, so the first section was kind of like, I don't really want to sit here and rethink this out over and over again. but which is funny because I really like card games.
There are cards in Helltaker?
No, there's no cards in Helltaker. It's a puzzle game. Like, you move blocks around to make a path. Yeah.
I've thought about playing just because like all the art and stuff is so like omnipresent. But,
I
like,
know.
Maybe I should just like play it sometime. It's free.
Yeah. I will recommend it. I mean, the puzzles you can skip through if you want to. The bullet hell you can't. So good luck, have fun. But it didn't take me more than like I want to say a couple hours, maybe a little bit more, to get through the game.
And I don't mind a bullet hell anyway. I've had some fun with bullet hells before.
Mm-hmm, yeah, and it isn't like super. I don't feel it super hard. It's definitely not long. The sections in it aren't long, and there's a few checkpoints and whatnot. So it was solid experience. The art was good. It's kind of funny. There's a lot of funny bits to it here and there. Trying to think. Yeah, the end. I'm not gonna lie. For me personally, I feel a lot of people are more satisfied with the ending than I am, because I just felt like there should be a little bit more going on with the ending, but it is what it is.
Okay.
But yeah, would recommend. But yeah, the other thing I was gonna talk about, and I was gonna try to get us to do something with it, was during Steam's summer event they had a bunch of demos for things, and one of them was for another card game that's actually multiplayer I wanted us to play, but didn't get around to it, and a lot of other demos.
I'm starting to miss that. Yeah. That actually looks really interesting.
It looks dope.
And Mike wasn't able to play it fast enough.
I'm sorry. I was busy.
We should have just booted it up clearly. It's whatever. I should have maybe tried it a little bit more, because I mean,
I've been trying to play a PvE card game that's multiplayer ever since Blizzard came out with the co-op events for Hearthstone.
Yep, with the brawls.
But at the very least, the actual game will come out one day, and I think it's only gonna be like $20, something like that.
Maybe, yeah. I didn't see a price.
We can just get it.
Yeah,
let's get it at the very least.
And it looked fine. Like, I just looked over the cards really quick, and they seemed pretty, regular cards, but they're all like specialized to whatever class. Because it's class-based, multiplayer party card game, and it looked really cool. PvE. I just didn't get around to actually booting up an actual game for it. I just looked at the classes a little bit.
I remember when you first told me about it, I thought it was just actual board game. I want to see if I can find the board game to show to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it'll ever get made into a video game or not.
The board game?
But yeah, the board game I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
I thought you might be talking about.
Have you guys ever played the Dark Souls board game? I know Dark Souls.
No, I've come close to buying it so often, but it's so high quality that it's so expensive.
I would recommend it. It is worth it, especially since a lot of you, I think, would play it a lot. I played it. Actually, Alex and I played
it. No, I didn't.
Oh no, you didn't.
No, you went. Yeah, you went up to our friend's house, and I wanted to work on a video or something.
Yeah, it's a shame too, because it's a lot of fun. But it can get really hard.
I hope so.
We actually came really close to losing.
Yeah.
But we managed to win the one run that we got through. But I will say, it is time consuming.
No.
So if you're gonna play a game like that, make sure you have time allotted for it. Setup is like the half of the biggest part of it.
Yeah. It reminds me of when we played Catan.
There's a couple of combats that can get kind of grindy.
Oh, gotcha. So yeah, that's a lot of time.
Last week I got the opportunity to play Hero Quest again for the first time in a long time.
Oh man, that brings back
Hero Quest?
It's really
is that old like kind of MMO-ish thing?
kind of D&D-ish.
Okay, gotcha. Hero Quest.
It's really old. I've got my stepdad's copy from God knows whenever it came out. It's actually 2 copies in 1 box. Let me see if I can find out when it came out.
The index, the in. That's funny. Oh, they released a 25th anniversary edition
Of what?
of Hero Quest.
Of Hero Quest?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, they released it back in April.
I am not able to find its original release date. I guess apparently there's an ad that's on Amazon for $350.
Jesus Christ. Well, apparently it came out in 1995 if there was a 25th anniversary, so...
Cool.
Damn, I'm only 2 years older than this game.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh, it got an award in 1991
What?
for it got an award in 1991 for best graphic presentation of a board game.
Wow.
It's from the early 90s.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, I'm not even older than this
Yep.
game.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I've got 2 copies. They're not in amazing condition, but they're in playable condition. So they're probably not worth $300, but I guess they're close.
Yeah. Cool.
It's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
And I did post a link to that board game I was talking about,
Yeah.
the like PvE co-op like board game thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Oh,
It's not a deck builder, but it looks cool.
yeah. Okay, there is one other game, by the way, that I've played that I could talk about, because I think we talked about it on the last time we tried this episode, that I don't think has been aired. And that's Max Gentleman's Sexy Business.
Oh, right. Yeah,
We talked a little about it last time, I think, and yeah, I played that, and I actually beat it on my first try of just because it's a business management sim with dating sim elements, kind of, where you go on dates with different business partners in order to get their inventory up, basically. So each of these business partners, because there's 12 of them, has a different industry that you go and get higher, doing multiple different things, and each one of them can either make money or make the better money, which is gold, or they can get workers. They can fight other businesses, because instead of regular, business and stuff where you make more money than someone or something like that in order to beat them, you just have to fight them with your fisticuff score, basically, and just take them out by beating the crap out of them and having enough workers to do it.
Only meaning the hostile takeover.
Exactly. That's what it's actually called in the game too. and what it says for what they're doing is business.
Doing business.
They're doing the
Legitimate business.
honestly illegitimate business, but legit business. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun, actually. I enjoyed all of it. There's little lore tidbits here and there, because when you go for your dates or whatever with them, there's 2 different types of dates. There is the lunch date, which is you just kind of have a little mini game, I guess it's a mini game where you can learn a bit more about them, kind of in a weird way. And then there's the regular date, which is just a visual novel style thing, which honestly doesn't matter what you choose. But you get different dialogue choices and stuff, or dialogue responses and stuff in the date. But at the end, you always succeed and you always get the bonus and get to go on to the next date when you build up their affection or whatever. So yeah, there's some other elements here and there about it, but yeah, no, it was a good time. I enjoy business sims. Something we were talking about last time. was that I've always wanted to get a Murda, which is an old like gangster business sim. Always looked cool, but I never really got into because I wasn't exactly sure. But after playing that, I'm like, yeah, I probably would have enjoyed that a lot too.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think that wraps it up for me. Mike, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been playing some things. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Raft.
I saw
Raft.
that.
That's been fun.
Playing Raft.
Yeah, so it's I've also been playing like a lot of 7 Days to Die and stuff like that. But as far as like co-op crafters go, I think Raft is very well done. It's not done yet; it's still in beta.
Mm-hmm.
They're adding story bits, and we actually just got to the first island that has lore on it,
Okay.
and we're on like day 70 something.
Jesus. I've only seen this.
somewhere around
I've
there.
seen some of the start of it, and I know that there's like not a whole lot of story bits that go on for like a while. I didn't know it could be that long.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But there was and I won't spoil any of the story that we have come across, but like the crafting in the game is very well done. It's very simple and straightforward, which I kind of like because like in 7 days, the biggest problem I have with crafting is you just dump a whole bunch of points into intelligence and you can build anything that you want without needing recipes because you're able to buy the talents at that point that you need in order to unlock the recipe. You only need the skill or you need to find the blueprints. With Raft, you can research. You have to research the materials that you get in order to figure out what you can build with it, which I think is perfectly acceptable. And there's no real way around it either. So you have to have a research table if you want to progress further in the game, which is great. It's the one resource that you absolutely need. And then you could have workarounds for basically anything else. You have options based on how you want to build your raft. The only problem that I have with Raft is how quickly the shark comes back after you kill it. Because I shit you not, we've killed almost 40 of those motherfuckers. Okay? And like, when you get to an island, you want to kill the shark so that you can get the shark meat and you can get some free time to farm materials under the water. Because you get, when you start the game, you get this plastic hook thing that's attached to a rope that you toss out there and you use to pull in materials. But when you dive, you also use it to pick up things like scrap metal or rocks, stuff like that, clay, some sand. And if you don't kill the shark as you're doing this, he will continuously attack you while you're in the water.
As they're godless killing machines.
Obviously it would. Yeah. Because, sharks are nothing but gigantic assholes, and that's what Raph wants to teach you.
Yeah. I kind of hate that that's kind of just what they... Like, there isn't... Well, I don't know. I wish they didn't just always attack you regardless of when you're in the water. We've been doing that since fucking the 90s.
Yeah, exactly, and that's stupid because
I think if you're
sharks really
where's your opportunity to feed the sharks and then like get down there and they'll be fed and won't care.
Yeah, or to feed them and tame them and become their masters. I mean, wishful thinking, I guess.
If anything, when you feed them, they would probably just go into a frenzy. But it's that point.
When you put when you put the food or when you put a meat in the water, that's when they'd frenzy. They don't even need to eat it yet.
I would rather they have put other minor threats in the ocean, and then when you take damage, it attracts
that's what I want.
That would be better.
That's what I want in the game.
But that's not what's in it.
I know.
So it's an annoyance because while you're in the early stages, it attacks the boat, and if you don't build a spear and take it and stab it off your boat, it will slowly shrink your resources and the amount of space that you have to work with, and you have to spend more resources to build the foundations again, which sucks because it takes 2 wood and 2 plastic, and wood is extremely hard to come by when you're using it for basically everything. There comes a point where you can build engines, and the first engines that you get run off of wood instead of like coal or anything, because there is none.
Yeah, it would be much harder to find coal in that kind of environment.
Yeah. So I guess the lore of everything is like the oceans rose up, and the only land masses that are left were just so tall, or newly formed with.
Rise up, oceans, rise up.
Basically, so the Earth got flooded.
Yep.
And there are no real land masses left except for like these few colonies that humanity tried to restart on, which is where the first island comes into play. You come across the first like real buildings and stuff, but all the other islands have lots of really good resources like mango trees, coconut trees, pine trees. You get like pineapples and watermelons, which both give you food and water. So like mango trees are like some of the best trees I think that you can possibly farm, because you get seeds from them every single time, and the fruit that they give you gives you food and a ton of water, which water is like the biggest thing early on, because you can kill the shark and get food pretty easily. The shark's not that hard to kill, especially early, but it becomes a problem when you start dehydrating. So you have to build a plastic cup pretty fast, and then you have to be able to build a water purifier. So like, if you don't do that stuff like right away, it will be extremely difficult. Also, the other problem that I have with the game is the respawn mechanic. So when you die, if there's nobody there to save you and pick you up and put you in a bed, then you have to respawn and you lose all your stuff that you had on you when you died. So either carry very little on you if you play by yourself, or play with a friend, because it will really suck to lose a lot of progress. Like you could lose material that you just found, and like you might not find it again for another 5 islands. And islands are spread out pretty far in a lot of cases. But there's also been some times where we hit one island and then we turn left, and there's like another cluster of small ones. So
it's random. I use the RNG.
So I've been spending a lot of time in Raft. I've also been playing more Legends of Runeterra. Doing more daily stuff. I've almost completed the Freljord track as well, so I'm down to Nox next, I think. I've been playing some. I played one game of Valorant, forever ago.
Oh, did we talk about the card thing last time too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Things feel a little lackluster.
Yeah, because I think I'll have to do that again.
The biggest problem that we've found so far with Legends of Runeterra is that when you open a chest, you can't just and really in the actual game too, you can't just scroll over a card and look at what it does. You have to right click on it.
Yeah, you have to do another click to go through that, and that's mostly because it's all simultaneously designed for mobile, where you can't just kind of tap or hover over something.
There's no mouse over mobile.
Yeah, which is fine. I think that's it's okay, but it's frustrating that they don't adapt that for the PC.
Yeah.
I feel like that wouldn't be too difficult, right?
Because there are other things, and they have most of our effects, I believe. Like I think it highlights like
It
cards
highlights keywords and things like
Yeah.
that.
over.
It just doesn't inform you on what anything does. It's just this has these keywords. I hope you remember these like at all times. Good luck. Have fun. But yeah.
What the other problem is too, it shows you every form of the card too. So like this is primarily for champions, but like when you right click on it, it'll show you the base champion, the leveled up champion, the champion spell, and if they have an effect, it'll show you that as a card model, even though that happens whenever you trigger its effect.
See,
however you trigger its effect.
See, I say that I don't know if you were saying that as a negative part of it or not. But I like that it shows all the cards that come off of it when you play it or whatever. Because another issue that I had with Hearthstone is where they didn't do that, and I was like, this creates a thing. I don't remember what keywords it has or anything like that. I just know that it is a thing that happens, and so like there was no way in the game to actually look at what that is in my match to remember it. But with Legends of Runeterra, they actually give you all of the different versions of everything that this card will actually give you, which is nice.
Right.
I think other card games, I think like Shadowverse probably does it best, where any creature that can be created by the card is just another like keyword, and you can actually click on that keyword to then see what that card is. But it doesn't crowd the screen if you're not asking for it.
Right, and that's my problem with it. Is the way it displays? You have to just click through it in order to find the part that you want. But it just looks so, I don't know, clustered. Like it seems like there's too many moving parts for every card when there really isn't. And it just makes it seem more complicated than it is.
I don't know. I think having a card that makes one card that becomes 5 cards is complicated.
Yeah, well, I think the way the champion system and the champion spell system and all that works is very strange. It's not very intuitive.
Yeah.
Like once it's explained, you get it, but until you either experience it or actually can read it or have it explained to you at some point, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I think it's a bit overly complicated, but at the same time, I feel that that's just how champions are. Because in League, when you play a champion, it's very complicated when you first pick them up. Like, even if you play them quite a bit.
I understand.
Master Yi's 2 buttons.
I understand how they don't want you to have multiple copies of the same champion, so they have to do something about that.
Yeah.
Well, no, if you have multiple copies of the same champion, it just turns into their signature card or spell.
Exactly, and it also tells you
why they did that.
Yeah, they make extra other cards off of that card, and so you need to know what those cards are, especially if you haven't played them or don't have them in your deck or whatever, to know what they do, to know its utility.
I think that's kind of nice though, because it does a lot of things for the game, because like in Magic, for instance, if you draw a second copy of a legendary creature you already have on the board,
it's dead.
It becomes a dead card.
Exactly.
Until
it dies.
Until such a time that creature is destroyed or removed from the board somehow.
Yep.
But then instead of that, for the League, not only does the champion card turn into the signature spell, which you can play basically at any time, it also recycles that card back into the deck.
Oh, does it? I didn't know it recycles.
You don't even lose a card. You actually
you just gain. You just gain.
Give yourself longevity by playing it as a champion spell.
Yeah.
Which is actually really good.
Yeah. So I think with that, one of the things I wish they did a little bit better, possibly, I'm not 100% sure about it, but trying to limit the kind of maybe things that non-champions did, and maybe had smaller deck sizes or something, in order to just make it to where you're just kind of more focused on learning your champion or your champions for the deck than anything else about the game. I think that might be a
But I
nicer.
feel like that limits your building options so much in comparison to like what is available right now.
Yeah.
Like,
but I'm just saying
there's so many things.
Yeah, there would just be less. I'm just saying to like for learning purposes, like someone actually getting the hang of these things. Because right now it's like, again with the multiple click through and whatnot, it just feels a little sluggish. So I don't know if they would want to dial that back because I wouldn't want them to dial champions back at all.
Right.
So that's why it's like it's either you basically tone down the followers so you don't have to like think about these other mechanics outside of this time when it's like champions, but you would have to restructure, I think, the gameplay around champions more, kind of like Commander. Honestly, that's why I really like Commander, is because it's like you focus really heavily on that one kind of creature.
Right.
But yeah. But at the same time, I also like complex games, so more power to them if they want. Anything else you're doing, Mike?
Aside from that, not really. I played a little more Fallout for myself. Fallout 4, not New Vegas, not New Vegas or 76.
Or 1, 2, or 3.
God, 76 is a fucking dumpster fire.
Still,
we'll talk about that at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just I'm playing that. I played some more My Hero, One's Justice. Got a little further in the story.
Good. Oh, also I finally uninstalled 4. I finally decided that I'm not going to try doing any of the other runs. I just didn't care enough.
Yeah, it's like once you play through it once, I think you pretty much get the gist of how everything goes.
I feel like the ending, depending on if you do any of the other side quests or doing the scientist people.
I don't know. I didn't.
I know.
I barely got like a part of the way in.
What are they called, Mike?
It's still like the Institute.
The Institute, yeah, the Institute. The Institute. You either going with the Institute or going with any other clan or faction. It will feel different. I think those are the big two.
Yeah.
But yeah, like so I was really tempted to do Institute, but I'm just like I don't think I really care that much. If anything, I might go back and chip at New Vegas a bit more.
That is fair.
It is a superior Fallout.
It is.
So nothing else, Mike?
Nope. That's pretty much it for me.
All right. What have I done?
What have you done?
What have I done?
But yeah.
School finished. I don't know. Has that happened within the timeline of discussed?
I don't think we've discussed that. I think that happened like maybe a week and a half ago, and we did every other week.
Yeah, so the spring term finished. I'm free for the summer, which is really nice. I passed my classes. That's what really matters.
Yeah, good.
I got like a 3.0, so like it wasn't even bad. Excited to be able to get back in the fall, but also really more excited to not have to do school for the next few months.
As it should
be. As already discussed, been playing a lot more Dead by Daylight and Valorant.
Yeah.
Really enjoying those right now. I really feel like I'm getting a lot better at Dead by Daylight than I was before. I think I hit rank 14 playing earlier today.
Yeah, I knew you were 16 the other day.
Yeah, I played with Jay today. I got like 14.
I think I actually got to 17 already.
Nice.
Yeah, feeling good about that.
I haven't played as much Valorant in the last little bit. Always seemed like I'm busy when everyone else is playing. Through the Steam summer sale, just bought the Danganronpa collection, and I'm really excited to get that started here soon.
Yeah, can't wait. I've been wanting to watch that, so I can't wait to hear about you playing through it. I might actually watch Let's Play. Yeah.
one more thing. I've been playing a lot of Sword and Shield and the expansion. Jake, did you get your shiny Zera aura?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know I've been right on top of it. I've been watching a lot of Pokemon content, playing a little, but I'm really on top of watching videos and stuff.
Yeah, Mike.
I was surprised that they gave it to you at level 100.
Yeah, kind of me too. But like,
I was just expecting like standard legendary at level 70. Like.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, for a second.
Have you checked its IVs yet? Do you know how many perfects it gets?
Yeah. So mine has 5 perfect IVs and 1 fantastic.
Okay, so hopefully they're all 5. That'd be nice.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're
1 bottle cap away from perfect.
Pretty much.
Other than Pokemon, what was I talking about just before Pokemon? Not doing much. Oh yeah, no, Danganronpa.
That Danganronpa.
Yeah, we're hoping to start tomorrow morning and wake up early and play before our guests for RP night show up.
Nice.
And speaking of RP, I also joined in with one of my roommates, another friend of ours, to be doing an online Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader campaign.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Cool. Oh.
Which is fun to get to finally play. We bought the book way back in high school.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Finally breaking it out. Good.
I think Jay's got the book, so I don't get to actually use that book proper.
Yeah, I think so too. Also, speaking of both RP and Jay, me, Mike, and him and another one of his friends, we're going to be doing Zweihander, which is the regular Warhammer universe roleplay game. It's super brutal.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Supposedly we're doing that this Sunday.
Maybe. We thought we were going to do it last summer, and then everybody kind of forgot.
Sunday, not summer.
Well, hopefully for your GM, you don't end up with a character like one of ours.
Oh, what?
I'm just playing a navigator, and I'm just like your standard navigator. I got decent gun skills, and I'm really good at making the ship go where it's got to go.
It's important.
But
yeah.
My roommate AJ, AJ's playing an Orc Weird Boy.
Ooh, yes.
And through some situations, like both just like what we were allowed to get for character creation, and then like one lucky mutation from eating like some food, some like really exotic food. He has like unnatural toughness times 3 or something like that, and like unnatural strength times 2.
Dang, girl.
And like power fists.
Yeah, I didn't get anything like that crazy because we way back when, like you were saying, we did roll for our character, make our characters and stuff. I was also a weird boy, I think, and I didn't get anything that crazy.
So part of the reason is that we are starting at rank 2. So
we're
already,
gotcha.
And then we were given some like additional acquisitions because we were rank 2. That's how I got the power fists.
Gotcha. Dope.
As well as like some cybernetics to enhance his toughness. But he like, so anytime he gets hit, he takes off like 20 something damage, and his minimum damage is like 30.
Yeah. Dang.
It's insane.
Yeah.
He literally can't get hurt, and he one shots everything.
Yeah. Wow, that's disgusting. I love it.
Like we recently, our ship is a space Hulk, like that we remade, and so it's got like a bunch of like warped creatures and stuff in the deep parts of the hull. And specifically we had some hull gas is what they're called, which is like the strongest version of that, and we were selling 13 of them to like this black market auction thing. And we had to figure out how to like corral them up and to get them to sell them. And we really, like, our original idea was just to send him down there and have him just put them all in cages because they couldn't physically hurt him.
Good.
We ended up doing something like far more technical than that. Like we cut like the oxygen off in the rooms they were in, let them like pass out.
Yeah, and that's a little bit risky to keep them alive. Just enough to make it to where they pass out.
Yeah.
But
But that campaign's been pretty fun so far. The DM seems a little on the newer side,
Mm-hmm.
and there've been a couple of hiccups here and there, but it's been mostly pretty good.
Yeah.
Our last session ended a little railroaded, but it was mostly just like a couple of mistakes and miscommunications for like how warp travel should work.
Mm-hmm.
So it seems like post session we've gotten it lined out pretty well.
Okay.
And now we just have to make a tough decision of whether we have to fight this like Eldar ship to be able to jump to the warp safely, or we can make a last minute warp jump and have like a bad time.
Yep.
So we have to choose which bad time we want.
Yeah. How is spaceship combat in Rogue Trader? Because in Starfinder it was actually really fun, but it was super easy to min-max your ship. And like, I don't know, maybe we just got too many points because we were doing so well, but like, we basically made it so that we were damn near invincible, and we were able to take on like 5 or 6 ships by ourselves without like any other help.
I know our ship is really good. I don't look too deep into how combat works and stuff. I know how like the basic actions are, whereas like the ship always moves its speed forward. You can like move the speed and then turn, or like half its speed and then turn. But you always have to move forward. And then like everyone gets a single action. You can do like 1 attack for every gun you have on the ship within its like firing arc. And then everyone else can do like other actions to try to help with just stuff like aim or like repair things or speed up the ship. Or I know one thing as the navigator I can do is a last minute emergency shift into the warp. It's like if like literally a shell is incoming and it's gonna kill us if it hits us, I can make a test at -60, and if I pass, we temporarily like blink out of existence to dodge the shot, and then blink back into existence.
Wow.
But so every class has like special actions like that they can take.
Yeah. Dope.
So that's been fun. Finished Tower of God, which I've talked about.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember.
Its season is over now. I don't know how much of that am I talking about is canon.
I know. Missing 2 episodes back to back like that was super bad for a continuity.
Watching Tower of God, it's good. It's over now.
Jake really wants me to watch it.
Its dub is on episode 8. It's got a dub.
Okay, that's doable then. For me.
It's on episode 8 as well.
Yeah, so might go around to it at one point. I do want to finish Gravity Falls though, because Gravity Falls is still really good, and I really want to see.
Gravity Falls is such a good show.
Yeah, I need to finish.
Dan Harmon is a goddamn genius. I fucking love him for it.
Was it written? Because as far as I know, it's by Alex Hurst or Hirsch.
Dan Harmon was also on.
Oh, okay. They both probably were on
a
it.
writer, co-producer.
Gotcha. Okay.
Dan Harmon is in like.
Yeah, he's in a lot.
Goddamn everything.
Yeah, I was surprised. Like every time I see his name up, I'm like, huh.
That's the reason why there's a Rick and Morty reference in Gravity Falls. There's a couple of them actually.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of Gravity Falls references in Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I know. The time traveler guy has the same voice.
Yeah. It is Morty.
Yeah. Is it Morty? Okay, because that's also.
No, it's not Morty as in like he's not a Morty.
No, he's
the voice actor for
yes. Because whoever that is also has to be the person for Mr. Meese. So that's what I hear every time.
Yes.
But yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah, because yeah. So is that?
I'm super excited. Coming up is the next like season of anime. We're about to hit the summer season, and we're finally gonna get shows this time because all of last season's shows were canceled for COVID.
Yeah.
And so some of them were punted over into this season.
Log Horizon?
Is Log Horizon still
I don't think Log Horizon's this season. We get,
next, it's gonna be the season after.
We get Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon?
Yeah.
ReZero.
Okay.
I
still
I know others.
Oh.
I know those two.
No,
are the
Don
season
Machi
for
was
sure.
Don Machi was fine.
No, Don.
I like Don
I like Don Machi. I don't like ReZero.
That's fair. I like Don Machi a lot. I'm really excited for it to catch up to the light novels. The light novels have gotten really intense.
Ooh, I actually didn't see the second season. I still feel a little ashamed because I was super into the first.
Yeah, you better watch the second
I
season.
know. We even watched the
We
movie.
watched like 2 episodes of it, and then we went to go see the movie.
Yeah, I fucking.
The movie was really good.
It
The
was.
movie
I
was
loved.
really good. I liked it a lot.
I loved it. I kind of want to watch it again at some point, but. Yeah.
I'm super interested by the fact that Hephaestia is a woman.
Oh yeah, just in general, or Hephaestus is made as a woman in this one. Yeah, no, and like Loki, I think Loki is too, if I'm correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, most
Most-
of the gods,
yeah.
they're not all.
Yeah,
But, like,
so it's
most of
they
them
know
are.
their audience. But yeah,
Well, to be fair, in Norse mythology, it wasn't uncommon for Loki to turn himself into
Yeah.
a female, and like, so that he could produce the offspring.
okay, that's
There's
neat.
like Hermes, Uranus, if I'm remembering his name correctly, Takemizukuchi, whatever. There's like a few male gods, but they're pretty few and far between.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How else do you get a huge harem?
he's right. That's what I was saying earlier. They know their audience. But do they go
It
to?
is nice actually that all the female gods don't all love Belle.
Yeah.
Everyone likes Belle, but like at
Everyone
least
likes
as far as the
Yeah.
official love interests,
Yeah,
there are different.
there's
ones.
only so many. Yeah, I wonder if they. I'm guessing not in the second season, but do they ever go into other like pantheons of gods, or is it mostly just those two? Because I think it's two.
I'm pretty sure.
But they pull a few like Take is like a Japanese god.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, I don't remember a lot of what went on because it's been a long while for me now.
He's like a god of war of some kind.
Okay. So yeah,
But yeah, you would have met him by now.
yeah, I probably met him. I just don't remember. But yeah, because I'm really interested to see more.
I don't know. There's like Apollo. Apollo's big in the second season.
Okay, I don't remember too much about him. But yeah, Apollo's still Greek though.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think. Just like down the list. I can't. There's not too many that aren't like the Greek or Roman gods or
Okay.
whatever.
Yeah, I hope they branch out more, but I don't. It's not a need. It just would be cool.
I think Hades comes up, but it's mostly a joke.
Uh,
If I'm remembering, if I'm attributing Hades to the right person, it might be a different person I'm thinking of. It's not Hades, but they're really just a joke.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I'll eventually I'll need to get around to it. Hopefully when Log Horizon comes out, I'll just start binging anime again.
It's really good. I think for like a point of perspective, I think Bell is like a level 4 or 5 adventurer now. I think he's at 5 now in the light novels.
Yeah.
Out of like 6.
Dang. Yeah. You get there.
Because he starts off at like what level 1?
Yeah, as does everyone. Yeah, he starts off as a brand new adventurer.
Yeah, and so
Level 1.
yeah, they were
He's level 2 or 3 in the movie.
I think he's. I don't remember.
He should be 2, I want to say.
Yeah.
I think he ends up at 3 by the end of it.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they actually give him the.
No, he wouldn't. He wouldn't rank up in the movie because the movie's technically canon.
But it's but it's standalone-ish still, kind of.
It happens with like between 2 sections, yeah.
So.
But he certainly couldn't rank up during it because he ranks up during every like portion of the book. So. Yeah, really good. I'm trying to think of anything else I've done other than being excited for anime. I've done lots of sleeping, lots of staying up really late.
Fun times, same, really.
Oh god, you want to talk about sleep schedules? Fucking work has been destroying me.
Yeah.
I gotta go back to a full work schedule soon.
Yeah.
But for now, I'm still riding my school schedule with no school. That's really nice.
Yeah.
But I think
we're
that's
good?
it for me. We can
move on finally to Sony stuff. I'm gonna take a short break though. Go to the restroom and clip the recording. All right, we're back, and we are going to now discuss a bit more on the Sony conference and a bit about just kind of the next gen, I guess, a little bit in general. Some of that stuff. So, was there anything that leapt out at you guys about it? I'll have you guys start.
Gen or PS?
The PS4, the game shown at the PS4 conference or
PS5.
PS5. My bad. Wow, I did it. But yeah, the PS5 games and some of that stuff. Any games that stood out?
I don't know. The Lemmings game looked kind of neat.
Yeah.
And
The New Oddworld.
Yeah, and then the Little Big Planet, the Yarn Boy Adventures, I should say.
Sackboy's Big Adventure.
Boy Adventures, that's right. God.
Names, man, they're weird.
Yeah. I don't know. They should have just kept it Little Big Planet. I don't know.
Yeah, I think again, we talked about this before, but they're trying to differentiate. I feel from what Little Big Planet was, and is trying to just make it a platformer, which to a lot of people aren't gonna care, but there might be enough of a market that likes those kinds of games and wants them on the system they use.
Yeah, and one thing I didn't know last time we talked about it, actually, I do know now is I think it was still the same company, Media Molecule, that made Dreams.
Yes, it's the same one.
And so, yeah, I didn't know they had a new creative thing like in their own lineup. And so now it totally makes sense for them to not make a new Little Big Planet.
Yeah, because they already have their creator, their game creator engine.
Like, no need to compete with yourself.
Cannibalism. Yeah.
It wasn't as high profile, I think, as some of the other games I could be more excited for. But I really like Ghostfire Tokyo.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so many things I personally enjoy.
Yeah.
I will admit, it does look interesting.
Yeah.
That's something I would definitely watch a playthrough of.
Yeah. Cryptids. Exorcist first person shooter the game.
Tokyo,
yeah, in Tokyo. It sounds really interesting. Again, it's hard for me to say if I would get a game or not, because first of all, I'd have to convince myself that it would ever be worth it to get a console over just being PC Master Race. So I'm like, would I get that game? Honestly, probably when it's on a sale, that's usually the only time I really get games. But I think it looks neat for sure. It's very interesting in its aesthetics. Yeah,
the visuals are definitely they stand out a lot, and not even because they're like 4K graphics.
Yeah, it's
just the art style is so different from anything else that we saw.
Yeah, because they go for like more just more interesting concepts, not just higher fidelity. So I like it. So
and then Returner looks kind of cool.
Was it a Returnal?
Returnal, yeah.
It's been a while for everybody out there. Yeah, for everybody out there, it's obviously been a while, and we didn't research these games because we already did that a couple times now.
I guess one thing to say for their advertising: no one's gonna forget what Bug Snacks is.
True facts, as much as yeah.
Well, how fucking sinister the end of that goddamn trailer was.
Hey man, the amorphous collective that is a bunch of food, sentient food is.
And then the other game that really stuck out to me is the other almost Hideo Kojima game.
The one with the spacesuit. No, the spacesuit.
Yeah, whose name I can never quite remember. I always read it and I try to make some kind of mnemonic for myself, and then I still forget the name. So
I can't even remember. I just know it has crazy cyber ghost girl.
The crazy the cyber cat.
And the cyber cat.
The robot girl, and they land on the moon.
Making canisters system. You shoot out your canister gun. They do different things. It looks cool. I like how weird it is. I like the kind of Hideo Kojima vibes. It's spitting.
Yeah,
I hate they don't really tell us any of the story though. It doesn't give us any real premise or context. It gives us zero things. It's just it's like it's like the old cologne commercials where like they'll have an actor and they'll be listing off a whole bunch of random shit and do something that doesn't really apply to anything, and at the end you'll see like some fucking cologne, and it was just like the idea is that it is a male fantasy to be like that guy, and the cologne is the secret to it.
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, it's just...
I'd say there's a little bit more to it than that, because we do understand that there is some kind of weird. It's either a like life is simulations or something, because there was the sky being crashed into, so it's a synthetic sky, synthetic people, synthetic by and
sky,
and somehow floating there. Like they didn't go that fast. Like that's something weird.
Like it looks around and like it was just a street at one point, but it gets like this weird kind of like tangled like stuff running throughout the streets at the edges, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but something like the state of the street changes.
Yeah, so I think there's some weird simulation nonsense going on. So there is something to it that's interesting. But again, you have to like kind of put all these weird pieces together, and even maybe then it might be wrong.
Yeah. Like,
so yeah, there's a lot going on there that is just that does feel like it's should be part of the game world, but we don't know exactly. They didn't tell us exactly what it was, which is good.
Yeah,
and
at least the world and stuff has me intrigued, and so like depending on what kind of gameplay we're actually talking about here.
Mm-hmm. That's the kind of the big thing, because I know Returnal has third-person shooter mechanics. Like they showed some gameplay of it, which was nice because there wasn't a lot of that. Looking at you, Hitman.
Yeah, you made the gameplay trailer.
Yeah, they did it. But yeah, so it was really cool to see some gameplay. Try to see some like maybe intro camera stuff going on. Some like actual weaponry stuff like that is really cool. So on that point, and a little bit more on its premise being more shown, I would more lean towards Returnal as like a probably a more solid title, but definitely there's an intrigue factor to name redacted title.
Yeah. It's a game not by Hideo Kojima.
That looks like it's by Hideo Kojima. But yeah, and then the one that I'm really interested that hasn't been named yet is I think it's Goodbye Volcano High, like anthro like kind of find dinosaur trying to find their way in like the world proper before it all goes away. It's seems kind of sad and also really like just kind of interesting, I guess, to me. But I love any of those kinds of like teenage drama or like early young adult drama like games right now. Like Night in the Woods is still one of my like still something I really like. Like every time I think about like games I've liked in the past like 5 years, I always think of Night in the Woods.
Did you ever play Life is Strange?
I think I watched a Let's Play. I didn't play it myself, but yeah, that one was also I watched all of that. Like and Life is Strange too. Like I don't really play a lot of those games. Really is the thing, but I don't play a lot of games that aren't kind of like simple mechanics. Either simple mechanics just comfortable mechanics like League or card games. Really, I feel is like my two real niches. RPGs too, more bombastic RPGs. But yeah,
I'll tell you which one I'm excited for. I'm excited to watch all of the rage clips at Demon Souls.
Yes, that's gonna be good as well.
Oh god, I can't
Demon Souls Remaster's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
I'm so excited to like finally give it a good shot. Like the last time I played it, I was still a bit on the younger side and like was not quite good enough yet. Like I hadn't gotten into Dark Souls yet, and so it wasn't a super positive experience. I'm really excited to go into Demon's Souls now after all my hours of all 3 Dark Souls games.
Yeah, and Bloodborne.
Experience it proper, and Bloodborne, and Sekiro, and everything.
Yeah.
And then they didn't show it, but the only game I'm really excited for on PS5 is Ghost of Tsushima.
Fair.
Those are the games that really stood out to me.
Gold, by the way.
What'd you say? What'd you say, Mike?
Are you guys there?
Hello.
It has a gold edition now, or it's getting a gold edition.
We can hear you. Can you hear us, Jake?
I'm not hearing you guys if you're there.
Fuck. Jake, can you hear me? Oh, fuck.
Hello?
Hello?
There we go.
Yay! Less technical difficulties than either the other two combined. We're doing good. We had one person drop once.
Yeah, one drop.
Yep, good. We keep this up, guys. But yeah, so
where was I lost?
Ghost of Tsushima. He said Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Was
Oh
what he
yeah,
wanted.
it wasn't at the conference.
Yeah, because they did their the 15-20 minutes. I forget how much it was.
Yeah, they did their tech demo.
Yeah, which like it's a lot of environmental like storytelling and kind of natural, I guess, directing, which was really cool. Is what they're really going for with a lot of their design, which I liked.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks really good. And then my degree of hype for Cyberpunk cannot be.
Oh my god, you're same.
We were talking about this the other day. Keanu is going to become a meme all over again.
Yep, every time there's like a new like major thing about Cyberpunk up until Cyberpunk, and then it will only get stronger is Keanu memeability.
Because up until now, we've only seen the one scene with him. We haven't seen anything else with him in game, even.
Yeah.
Beyond the first time we were shown, and so once we actually get to start experiencing all the portions with him being this like cyber ghost in your head, it's gonna be something else.
Yeah. Oh, I don't think you. Yeah, neither of you were at the live event, right, for Cyberpunk's newest reveal?
The recent one? I wasn't present, but I did watch it as soon as I woke up.
But if you were there during the actual thing, you got a little emote specifically, if you were there, it's Keanu's character, Johnny Silverhands or whatever, and it's an emote of him.
You're beautiful.
Yeah. I know, but there's more. There's more things that lead back to Keanu throughout the internet now.
So what's the emote?
It's like a rock on like hand of the metal hand. Yeah.
I was almost awake for that too. I was going to bed and I saw the timer. It was like 3 hours from when I was going to sleep. Like, what if I just did?
What if I just made it? What if it was more important to get an emote on Twitch? Is it?
I probably wouldn't have. I wouldn't have been watching on Twitch, so I wouldn't have been watching on YouTube anyway. Because I think that's just where I was at the time.
Yeah, that would have been. They would have
missed it.
Yeah, they would have said something though about being on the Twitch though. But yeah. Also, my boy Jesse Cox was the host.
Oh, good.
Yeah, he's also in the game, like his not Jesse Cox the man, but someone that with the face of Jesse, voiced by Jesse, is in the game.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was super hyped to hear that. There's apparently him, Co-Carnage, and one other like celebrity. Yeah. I'm not exactly sure who it is, so yeah, they haven't revealed.
I was a little sad. They gave a bunch of different like content creators time to play the game.
Mm-hmm, yep.
But you could tell that they showed them all like the same exact section of the game, which is fine. That's expected.
Yeah.
But also told them what sort of things they were expected to talk about.
Oh, that's one of those.
Because if you jump across a few different creators, they all talk about the same exact things, sometimes with the same exact footage.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Well, like, which is fine. Like, I get how there was certain things they were trying to get out with this particular announcement.
Yeah.
And they can't guarantee that, like, which content creator you're gonna watch. They just want to make sure they all talk about it.
Yeah. Fair.
Like, the big one I noticed was the whole the outside part of the city.
Oh yeah.
I forget its name right now.
Is it Wasteland?
But yeah, like Wasteland, something like that.
Yeah.
They were obviously all like told they had to talk about because everyone had like the same section of talking about it with like the same adjectives and stuff like that.
Oh, that's so telling. Ooh, but yeah, I mean, kind of sad that it wasn't just like, please make sure to have like a good talking point on this section. But yeah.
But overall, it was really like more awesome reveal. Even though we didn't see too much more, I like knowing more about like the character creation and the different like origin paths you can choose, and just like every extra minute of gameplay is so good.
Yeah, agreed.
And as far as like just the console generation in general, should we move on to that?
Yeah, I think so. Because the only thing I could think about on the point of Cyberpunk is I'm glad it isn't a console exclusive at all.
Yeah, it is coming to PC. We still don't know if it's coming to PC on the same day or not, though. Hopefully they don't do that like they did with The Witcher.
Oh, did they do something like that?
The Witcher 3 launched noticeably later on PC than it did on console.
Weird, but okay, I guess. Hopefully not. It doesn't seem like it from what I know, but it could have.
Yeah, they've given no indication so far, at least.
Yeah. So yeah, I think so. Yeah, now onto console generation stuff, because I know from what we were talking about before, where a lot of online stuff. I think we talked about the online capabilities on stuff being like honestly some of the most important aspects with Game Pass and yada yada.
Sort of. I think we kind of talked about something that's kind of like that.
Yeah, because right now a lot of people are noticing basically the Game Pass having so many games for Xbox is actually leading them to have more sales. Actually, this was a recent video I watched. Is actually growing their sales numbers on regular priced games as well, because more people are already there and are active, so they're actually getting more sales as well.
I can see that. Okay.
Yeah, and I don't know what's.
Yeah. There's like my big reason for choosing PlayStation is still the whole like exclusive side of things, which. Like PlayStation's unfortunately been like just winning hard for like the last generation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely see as far as just like ease of access to like a good library of games, Xbox does have like a good thing going there.
Yeah, and because a lot of their exclusives, quote unquote, from what I've heard or like I've known for a little while, is like a lot of them are now going to be PC as well, so it's not like they're full exclusives even there anymore.
Yeah.
So it's really good for them to have some kind of other incentive for using their machine. And also something I don't think either of you know about either, but is the Game Pass also something on like the Microsoft store for PC as well, or is it just on Xboxes?
I don't know for sure, but I assume there must be something like that.
Yeah, because
I'm pretty sure there will be.
Yeah.
Or at least there will be.
Because that's probably smart for them, honestly.
Otherwise, they're missing out on a huge market.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, a lot of that market, quote unquote, is going to be is possibly or more than likely at a bit of a is giving a service at a loss, essentially, for a lot of that, and they're making it up by bringing people to their service, or their platform. That's the one. And so maybe they'll do something like that. Maybe that'll also get people to use the Microsoft Store, I guess, more than like Steam or anything, but at this point I highly doubt it. I mean, I don't think it's been working too well for Epic, but doing the free games. But it might be. It might be more than I'm thinking it is. If that's the case.
Yeah, they've at least getting a little bit more attention, more positive attention now than they were getting before.
Yeah.
They weren't getting any before.
But like EA has just given up now. The Origin pretty much just gave up all its big names except for like Apex.
Kinda. I'd say because a lot of the games I know that because you're talking about that they have a lot of their titles on Steam.
Yeah.
As far as I know, they haven't actually given any games onto Steam that isn't already in EA Access, which is $5 a month. So it's not like they're actually
letting you get access as well on Steam.
Mm-hmm, true. So, but yeah, seems a little weird. Honestly, that's the big one. I feel is weird because I'm just like it's only Access games on there. But that's the thing. The Access titles are basically titles that nobody is buying anymore.
Okay.
So it's like they're just trying to find more platforms that they can put this service on for games that aren't being bought anyways. So they're not really losing a lot. Yeah, they're just trying to get a little bit more, like just a little bit more where they think they can. It's not like they're putting in their big new titles onto Steam.
I always forget that PlayStation does have PlayStation Now, which is kind of like their answer to the Game Pass.
Yeah.
Except they've just never managed to make it affordable.
Yeah, that I was gonna say.
They've never managed to make it competitive.
Yeah, because I'm like, they give you They give you a game a month. Is it a month?
No, you can play all of them. It's just
a bundle.
Like $20-something bucks. Like it's really expensive.
Oh yeah, so it's just a bundle of games you can play whenever, with the sub.
Yeah, but you have to stream them as well. Like you don't actually install the games.
Oh.
You have to stream them to your console over internet connection.
Okay, that's also kind of stupid.
Yeah, so you get like Google Stadia problems with like latency and things like that.
That sounds bad.
Stadia, that disaster.
Yeah. On top of that's another platform that does this kind of thing and bad, and nobody like that. Nobody's gonna like this. It's just you don't have, instead of buying a controller that works as your quote unquote console, it is a console that makes you work under Stadia requirements.
Yeah.
So that's just because I know
it has a system where you can like rent individual games, but it's like really ridiculous.
Yeah, you're buying.
It was something like $8 for like 3 days.
What
of a
the
game you can buy for,
fuck,
like, 15.
Sony? Who do you think you are? Yeah, no, that is no. I think they did a good job trying to showcase games and getting a few exclusives. They are losing this battle for.
Yeah, PlayStation Now is old. Like I don't think I feel like they've almost completely given up on it.
They should have. Because they should have announced something. Because right now that is growing the Microsoft market a lot lately over this past year, and going into next year, it's going to be even higher. I can only. That's all I see.
Mm-hmm.
Especially with unless someone makes a better competition.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So. Not sure. Yeah.
Does that about wrap it up for what we thought was worthwhile?
We haven't talked too much about Xbox or
well,
PlayStation as consoles, but I get like that's kind of like the least important part.
Yeah, it's a platform. That's all it really is. Like so.
Yeah, we can talk about
the specs of it.
Sony says they have like SSDs faster than anything can get on.
Oh, actually,
PC.
That's actually what I was going to say, or one of the games I was going to talk about that I didn't get to was the Ratchet and Clank game, because they showcased that SSD's capability by instant loading new levels on the super fast,
instantly.
yeah, like instantly. It was crazy, and like the mobility stuff for while you're in a level is kind of jank and looks VR-ish. At best, It looks like that it's like just a part of a VR game that they scrapped at some point, and we're like, this game works with this, and it's gonna be like better overall as a game. So they just have it here. So, and then there's stuff about the female Ratchet that I'm just like, I personally don't care because they didn't show too much about her, how she is in the world, or like reasons for why she's in the world, other than it might be gender swap world, like reality. So I'm not too interested, but apparently the internet is eating it up.
At least they were. I think it's died down by now.
I think I've only come across maybe one or two in the past week. Like
perhaps like Keanu, it will resurface as the game gets more coverage. But
yeah.
It looks good. I might get it depending on like a lot of me getting PS5 games comes down to when they're all released in relation to when it gets released.
Yeah.
And like how close together I'd have to buy them. Because like I'm only gonna get one, maybe two launch titles. I just can't afford a $500 console and like two $60 games, three $60 games.
Yeah.
That's assuming it's only
$500. Because there's been speculation on $600 to $700 a lot lately.
Yeah,
So.
I've also heard things where like because that one like leaked price tag, someone with Sony confirmed that it's not going to be that much.
Yeah, so
but like it will be more like. So I'm feeling like 500, maybe 6.
Yeah, so hopefully it's around there and isn't too bad. So
yeah, regardless, one game and maybe two, in addition to the console.
Fair, but yeah. So.
Well, and Resident Evil, I forgot.
Yeah, well, Resident Evil.
Wait, gotta jump back talking about the games.
Yep.
I forgot about Resident Evil.
Yeah.
RE8 looks like.
Yeah, super cool. I like that it's different. Gothic horror creatures. Possibly Wendigos. It's totally werewolves, but my dream is Wendigos. Kind of the same thing, honestly, when you think about it. Like, just different cultures, yeah.
Yeah.
So, it looks super cool. A lot of different areas, same environment, but having it be a village or a town in order to have like a castle, outskirts, farmland, general city stuff, or village stuff. Looks super cool.
Like if I could pick, I think my ideal titles to get on launch would be Ghostwire and Resident Evil.
Spooky.
if they both launched, I want a nice spooky time with my PS5.
I don't think Resident Evil will launch beyond launch, but
yeah, I don't remember the years for everything. I feel like it might have been later.
I think
as well,
that's later, but yeah, I think Ghostwire might come around that window. So, but yeah, I think that wraps it up then. Probably something forgot, but that's fine. Yeah.
At least this one's uploadable.
Yeah, this one should be totally uploadable unless something gets corrupted at some point, in which case I will be very sad. But yeah, sounds good. All right, thanks you guys for a third time trying this podcast episode, and thank you guys for watching. If you guys made it through, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Let's pound this out.
That's what she said. Not sorry.